Hi there, Subaru owners. Today in your 2004 Subaru Outback Wagon, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install CURT's Class 2 1¼ trailer hitch receiver. And this is what our hitch looks like when it's installed. The cross tube is going to be visible, but it's tucked up very far underneath the vehicle, so unless you're getting down here on your knees like we are, you're really not going to notice it. The receiver here at the back is a 1¼ by 1¼ so it's going to be great for all of your light duty applications, whether you want to load it up with accessories like a bike rack or a cargo carrier, or if you want to do some minor towing with it. This hitch uses a 1/2-inch hitch pin and clip. Now, one doesn't come included with the hitch, but we've got plenty available here at eTrailer, and you can also get locking ones to protect your investment. On bottom, we've got plate style safety chain loops with a moderate size opening that should accommodate most of your safety chains. Our small one here doesn't have a problem, and the bigger one here also seems to be just fine. This hitch offers a 350-pound tongue weight, which is the force going down on top of the receiver. And that's more than enough for a 4-bike platform rack fully loaded up. Or if you want to put a cargo carrier in there as well, you could load that up. You're not going to be able to load it up to the maximum, but you should be able to still get some gear out of your vehicle. It also features a 3,500-pound gross towing capacity, which is how much that it can pull behind it. And that's going to be enough if you have a small trailer, maybe like a small John boat trailer or some jet skis. You want to bring those with you, you should be able to as well. Now I've got some measurements for you to help you when deciding on accessories. From the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube, it measures about 15 inches. This is important when determining if you need a drop, a rise, or a raise shank on any of your accessories. And from the center of our hitch pin hole to the edge of our rear bumper, it measures about 6 inches. And this is important when determining if your accessories will contact the bumper when inserted, and if they can be placed in the upright storage position without contacting the bumper. Now that we've covered some of the features of our hitch, why don't you follow along with me so you can have the confidence to install it at home. We'll begin our installation underneath the vehicle. If you have a charcoal canister located on your passenger side here, it's in the way. You'll have to get that out of the way. There's a couple of bolts that hold it in place, and you can probably tell by looking at them how rusted they are. This vehicle is a couple of decades old nearly, so it's likely going to have these rust issues. I sprayed them with rust penetrant to help assist getting them off, and we'll use our 12mm socket to remove them. Hey, it came right off of there. We got lucky today. We'll do the same thing now with the other one. If your nut gets stuck inside the socket, that's pretty common when it's all rusted on the outside. You can thread it on there a couple of turns. And then a lot of times you can use kind of a stud there to help you get your socket off of there. Located on the other side of our box, we're also going to have one towards the front. We're going to remove that one as well. Now with all of our hardware loose, we can take our charcoal canister down. It's not uncommon for it to be kind of stuck in here just because it's been in here for so long. You can see here the plastic just doesn't want to release up here. Just kind of work it back and forth. Once it comes down, we can just let it hang by the hoses. We don't need to disconnect the hoses. Next, we're going to be lowering down our exhaust. Before we do so, we're going to put a strap in place to hold our exhaust up. So we're just going to put one on each side, and you can just hook it wherever you like. We'll just hook it right there. And that's just going to catch it, so that way it can't lower down too far. Now to lower the exhaust, you're going to have hangers. There's one on each side here, as well as one towards the front. Once you get these three removed, your exhaust is going to come down. To make it easier, we can use some silicone spray on the hangers. That'll help make them slide off easier. And then we'll use our pry bar to just pry those off of there. Just kind of find yourself a spot where you can hook your pry bar in, just like that, and then just pry it away. We'll do the same thing over here on the other side and our last hanger towards the front. When you're taking off your last hanger, you want to probably grab the exhaust. We do have our strap in place, but it's nice to be able to lower it down slowly. That just helps ensure that you don't accidentally hurt yourself or damage anything. We can then come to our strap here in the middle, and we can relieve some of that tension just to give us a little bit more gap so we can get our hitch into place there. On the bottom of your frame on each side, you're going to have a large rubber plug. We're going to remove that rubber plug with our flat-bladed screwdriver. Just get up underneath the plug and pry it out of there. Now we'll take our fish wire. We're going to place our spacer on top, and then thread our carriage bolt onto the coiled wire. We can then put the carriage bolt up into the frame, push it up in there a little bit. We'll push our spacer up into the frame, and then we'll pull our fish wire until it comes back down. We'll then remove the fish wire and repeat this process on the other side. Now we went to go lift the hitch up, and this bracket here was in the way. You could probably just bend this arm down and get it in place, but due to the high amount of rust that we've got on here, we're going to attempt to remove this so that we've got a mounting location for our charcoal canister to go back up. There's 2 bolts that hold it on here. They're extremely rusted, and it's going to be the same size that you had used before. This should give us the clearance we need to get it up. And now with the next set of hands, we'll lift our hitch into position. The hitch is going to go around your exhaust. And then when you're going up, you want to be careful not to push your hardware back into the frame. So just carefully line that up with the holes. And when you get it slid in there, you'll want to get a nut started on each side. And once you get one started, the hitch will hold itself up, making it easier to install the rest of your hardware. Now we can come to our tow hooks. Our hitch is going to attach to the tow hook. To do that, we're going to use the hex head bolt that comes in our kit. We're going to go through the hitch first, through a spacer. We'll then lift up on our hitch, slide our bolt through the tow hook, attach another spacer onto the other side, and then thread one of the flange nuts in your kit onto the hex bolt. We'll then do the same thing over on the other side. We can then go back and tighten them down with a 3/4 inch socket and wrench. We can then go back and torque all of our hardware to the specifications found in our instructions. Now that everything is tightened and torqued, we can put our exhaust back up and reinstall our charcoal canister in reverse order of how we removed it. And now we got everything back in place, all of our hardware is torqued and tightened down, we're ready to load up our favorite accessories and hit the road. And that completes our installation of CURT's Class 1 1 1/4 inch trailer hitch receiver on our 2004 Subaru Outback Wagon.